Dad had a long and colorful and complicated and remarkable life, and I just wanted to share a little bit of his story with you. And I know some of these things I kind of learned when I did a paper on him in college on people that migrated here, and I videotaped that, and I did it with OPA too, so I found out some information and stuff that I didn't even know. So
That's neat.
yeah, it was really cool, and I got an A. So my dad's story began in Austria during World War II, a time and a place that shaped his strength, resourcefulness, and sense of adventure for the rest of his life. He was born to a German father and an Austrian mother. And in 1956, when he and his twin brother Helmut were just 15, they left Europe behind with their parents and younger brother Wolfie to start over in America. They came across the Atlantic on the USS Harry Taylor, along with over 3,000 refugees. During that voyage, my dad, his brothers, and his parents all worked serving food to the passengers, and the few dollars they earned along the way were all the money they had when they arrived in New York Harbor. But they made it. And that was always who my dad was, someone who always found a way. He finished high school on Long Island and soon after joined the U.S. Air Force, beginning a career that would span 26 years. In 1961, while at Chinook Air Force Base in Illinois, he met my mom at a USO dance.
Aww.
My nearly 5'11" mom famously told her girlfriend, "I get the tall one," and at 5'9", that was my dad.
Yeah, Jock was a lot shorter, but he had the car. He had the Corvette.
A year later, they were married. Together, they had
2 years.
2 years later, they were married. I guess I should have had you proofread. Right. Together, they had 2 children, my brother Chris and me, and they stayed together until 1975. 1976. During his service, my dad flew as a navigator on military intelligence missions over Laos during the Vietnam War. He earned 2 master's degrees through the Air Force with honors, one from Oklahoma State and one from the University of Southern California.
Oklahoma. Sorry.
It was over here, right? And he retired in 1984, August 30th, that I know for a fact, as Major Menz. His time in the Air Force shaped him deeply. It gave him pride, discipline, and a sense of belonging that stayed with him always. After retiring from the military, he moved back to Germany to serve as the executive director of the USO in Wiesbaden, and he often said that it was his favorite job. He developed programs for service members and their families that were stationed overseas and built many friendships that lasted throughout his life. Later, he transitioned into the private sector, working for Motorola's cellular division in Eastern Europe, just as the modern world of technology was beginning to take off. Eventually, he came back to the United States in 1994 and settled on Florida's West Coast. There, he reinvented himself yet again, this time as Captain Manning, running luxury charters through the Gulf of Mexico. It suited him perfectly, the open water, the sunshine, the sense of freedom. He lived a life full of passion: golf, fishing, boating, dogs, and college football. He was devoted to USC in Oklahoma. He could tell a corny dad joke better than anyone. He could strike up a conversation anywhere he went, and he had the most striking blue eyes you could ever imagine. He was endlessly curious and well-traveled, visiting more than 100 countries and most of the United States. And throughout all these journeys, he never stopped looking for love. The last years of his life brought him somewhere he hadn't been in a long time: home. For the final year and 8 months of his life, he lived with my husband Omar, our daughter Marisol, and me. What began as a time of caretaking turned into a time of laughter, closeness, and healing, and me nagging him to put on his hearing aid. Omar and he developed a bond that surprised and moved us all, and after years of periodic distance and reconciliation, my dad and I found the closeness we both had longed for. In that same spirit of reconciliation, he and my mom made peace after 50 years. I'll never forget watching them sitting together again, sharing an old episode of Hawaii Five-0, helping each other with little small things, laughing over memories that only they shared. Seeing them take care of each other, again, after so many years apart, was one of those quiet, sacred gifts that life gives you at the very end, when you least expect it. One of my dad's closest friends, Wolfgang, who lives in Germany, told me recently that on his last visit, my dad said that he had traveled the world, met countless people, married 5 times, but that he was finally happy and content living with us. That he felt thankful to be cared for and loved, and those words comfort me deeply. My dad passed away peacefully and without pain at 84. He's survived by Chris, my husband Omar, and me, his grandchildren Marisol, Brandon and his husband JP, Colin and Sammy, and Courtney, his great-granddaughter little Lena, his twin brother Helmut, and dear friends who knew and loved him throughout his life. He's preceded and done by his parents and his younger brother Wolfie. My dad was a man who lived a big life full of love, full of change, full of stories, full of lessons. And even though our relationship wasn't always easy, I'm so proud that he's my dad. I miss him every day. Sometimes the grief still hits like a wave, but I find peace in knowing he's home again. I imagine him reunited with his parents and little brother, his blue eyes bright again, maybe out on a boat or a golf course somewhere, telling a bad joke, smiling that unmistakable smile. Godspeed, Dad. Your life was an adventure, and it will always be a blessing.
That was beautiful.
It was very deep.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandy.
If anybody else has anything they want to say about it.
Well, I was going to say something. I've known Manfred since I was 18 and a half years old. We met at a drive-in movie. I had come from the USO, and my girlfriends picked me up and brought me to the drive-in, and when I went down to change from my dress to my shorts, Manfred whistled out, "I like short shorts." So that's sort of how we got together, and we started talking, and I told my girlfriend I wanted the tall one, and that was Manfred. And we went to down to Marty Kay's after that, all of us, and had coffee and made a date for the next day where we went to Lake of the Woods. But Jock also went with us because he had the car. But anyway, that's how I got together with Manfred. Actually, I wrote a poem about it. I used to write poetry all the time, but I wrote a poem about it. I don't know where it is right now, but I did write it. But Manfred was so different then than what he became later. He was so frolicky and happy-go-lucky, and we always had, he was always joking and doing silly things, and it was always great. He introduced me to good things like my first adult dinner, drinking wine. I'd never had wine before. We went to dinner, different places. He introduced me to Broadway show. We saw Camelot on Broadway with Julie Andrews and Robert Goulet. And we went to Breakfast at Tiffany's was our favorite movie. And our song was Moon River. So we had really good times. And We always went fishing. We fished every stream, lake, ocean, up and down the United States. We went through Canada, Vancouver Island together with his carry on our Porsche. We put his motor and attached to it so we didn't have to pay. So we went fishing in Vancouver Island and caught a shark, a baby shark, and let it go, of course. But we always had a good time. And the thing about somebody who dies is you only remember mostly the good things and the fun things. And through the last year and a half since he's been at Cindy's, it has awakened those memories, and it's been good. We didn't talk a lot because he just didn't talk that much a lot, but he was there, and he even hugged and kissed me goodbye and hellos. So he had a good life, and I had a good time with him. And all of you are here because of him and me.
Yeah.
So, but that's my recollection. And I always called him Fred or Freddy the Frog. That was my nickname to him. And he called me Tiger. I won't tell you why.
Great job.
Wait, what did he call you?
Tiger.
Colin needs a hearing aid.
And he even gave me a little baby tiger that was about this
Oh,
tall.
that's what that's from.
Little felt tiger.
Right.
I don't know where it went over the years.
Oh, so that's why I still have that tiger stone in my room.
It